What's up guys, my name is Phil, welcome back to Miranda Detailing. So in today's video, we have a white Dodge Ram truck and we're doing a full detail plus a few extra things. So we're going to add in a paint enhancement as well as interior fabric protection. So the interior really is not too bad, so I'm really not going to go into too much with the interior. It's black carpets, black cloth, and there's really no stains or anything to speak of in the interior. So we'll clean and steam everything in the inside, but we're not going to do any type of heavy extraction. We want things to dry as quickly as possible because we want to put fabric protection. So we're going to be using some Dr. Beasley's products for the fabric protection, and basically no extraction needed. Don't oversaturate. If the cloth seats look clean, steam them. Use a little bit of all-purpose cleaner, steam them. That dries much faster and it's still cleaning and sanitizing. So the exterior though has artillery fungus, so we're going to tackle those and then of course polish everything and use some sort of ceramic sealant. Not sure yet. We'll choose when we're towards the end, getting into the protection phase. So let's take a look around and see what this thing looks like. Guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. So here's the truck, and it's a pure white, no metallic or pearl in it whatsoever. But we are dealing with some artillery. Now I don't know how long these have been on here. They usually pop right off like that, and you're dealing with just like a little bit of the glue, the anchor, I call it. It's some crazy sort of natural glue that these artillery fungus spores produce. So sometimes you can blast them off with a pressure washer. You get about maybe, 6 to 8 inches away. That's safe, it's okay, especially with our electric pressure washer, and blast the tops off, and then you might need to go back in and clay bar those. But it seems to be the hood and almost this entire side is the worst of it. It kind of stops, yeah, so I don't really see too many here. Maybe one, yep, right there. But it's mostly this side here and the hood. So it does have nice chrome wheels. We're going to polish those up using the Renegade polish. And there's only a few little defects. There's some scuffs there and some other deeper scratches on this side, which the customer wants compounded and polished as safely and as best as we can. We can't go too crazy here because of the crease, so we have to tread lightly because there's less clear coat there. And here you can feel the scratches, but we might be able to make those look a lot better. So let's get started with the washing, pre-washing, and getting into the decontamination stage, clay barring and clay mitting and all of that. Get these wheels and tires cleaned up, and then we'll tackle the inside. And then either we'll have it out here if it's still warm enough, or we'll pull it in and start polishing. Washing is done, and we are just finishing up clay barring some of these artillery funguses off. Now, when you're dealing with artillery fungus, it's not the chemical that is going to remove it. We have not really found a chemical that is strong enough to remove those little anchors. It needs abrasion. So you use the clay bar with your clay lube of choice, and you really put pressure on that clay bar. You kind of focus it on that little spot, and you keep rubbing it and rubbing it. Yes, it's going to mar the paint. That's just the way it is. We're going to polish this after. So if you have to deal with artillery fungus, charge appropriately, because you're going to need a polish after if it's, you know, going to be marring the paint, which it will. So keep that in mind when you're pricing out artillery fungus removal jobs, especially if they're really bad. This one wasn't really bad. They came off, but at least we're doing a paint enhancement to polish that and correct it. So wheels and tires are looking great. Everything is looking great. All the mold that you saw built up, this truck sat for a while. So there was all this mold built up here. You degrease it and you blast it out with your pressure washer. And if that still doesn't do it, you can take your steamer to it, roll down the window, and clean it all out. But that's looking pretty good. I might need to do another little rinse in there to get some more of that out. But overall, that's looking really good. So we're going to dry this thing down, and we'll start in the interior, and then we'll most likely pull it in to finish the rest of the exterior. Now, while we're drying the rest of the vehicle, at this point, I like to go through all the door jambs, wipe down all the seals with 303 aerospace protectant, and that way it deep cleans all those seals, because there is some grime in those seals still, and gives me a chance to wipe down all the door jambs. That way when we pull it in, it's not going to be dripping water on us constantly, at least not as much. But it gives us a chance to really get in those door jambs and clean all that grime up. truck is pulled in, and we just finished the interior. And like I mentioned, again, it really wasn't bad. It just needed the carpets to be vacuumed, the seats to be just lightly steamed and cleaned. Everything looks really nice and fresh in here now. So, yep. So we'll let that dry out, and we're going to apply the Dr. Beasley's carpet and upholstery protection. So we'll break open that bottle and probably use that entire bottle on the inside here. And we have another one if we need to, but we're gonna put just 2 light applications on everything. We don't have to drench everything, just mist it onto the fabric, let it dry, and then put a second coat, let it dry, and you're good to go. So this will be with us overnight. Now let's take a look at the paint. The worst spot, like we showed before, right here with some of those scratches. And you can just see overall swirls in the paint, but at least it's white, so that is kind of forgiving. White paint is a little forgiving. We do have some heavy marring here because we had to remove some of the artillery. That we will polish to make look really nice in the engine compartment. Nice and clean. All of the sides here cleaned up beautifully. So that's looking great. So let's get to polishing, and let's use the LVR Helios. This is the 404 from Extreme Solutions. So we're going to polish with this, and it'll cure overnight, but we are going to top it with some sort of a sealant. So we'll see what we want to use on the paint after we polish it. Let's grab an orange Lake Country. Either of these would be fine. We do have the SPTA ones. A lot of people have asked me about these, and actually it's not too bad. I think some are confused by the different coloration of the different foams. The orange SPTA pad of this, type with the little triangles here that come with the cordless polisher are actually pretty decent. I do compare these to the Lake Country, and they actually work. They actually work really well. So let's grab this and the polisher, and let's just do a little test spot here and see what it looks like. It'd help if I opened it. Really hard to see the swirls here in the paint. I can barely notice a difference even with the light here. I mean, it looks good. It's just really hard to see the swirls sometimes. Let me just do another pass. Sometimes it just takes 2 passes or more to get it to what you want. Okay, that made enough difference. So here's the paint before. You can just see a little bit of a haziness around the light. And then as we go to the polish section, yeah, that goes away. So some little minor scratches and swirls are going to be left because it's a paint enhancement. But yeah, you can see the line right there. So this is after, this is before. So good, that's what we're shooting for. So it might just take 1 or a couple of slower passes with the Helios, and it does a great job. All right, good. So that's what we're shooting for. That will gloss up the paint. That will improve the depth, the gloss, the imperfections. 50% or more will be removed. So, all right, let's move along with that polishing and get this thing all glossed up. So we're working our way around the truck and the sides were much worse. So we needed to increase the cut. So with the Extreme Solutions line, staying with that, we chose the 369 Trifecta. So this is still, has the ability to compound, polish, and seal all in one step. Now, not to say that really that's a 3-in-1 because it has acrylic resin. It does cure and it does basically add protection. So this just has more cut and it's actually working out really good. The only downside to all-in-ones like this is they do gum up your pads, so you need to blow them out more often. However, results pretty amazing. So this can also be topped. So again, we'll decide what to top this with. So now on to these chrome wheels. We're going to polish them and then we're going to dress the tires as well. So what you can use to polish these is pretty much any type of compound or polish or all-in-one. So you can choose, say, the Renegade products, which I do like. Their Pipe Dream is an awesome chrome polish. Or you can choose something else. We're going to use the P601 from Kosh Chemie, their one cut finish. So it's a polish and protection all in one. So let's try it out. You're making fun of me over there.
No.
You're not doing it right. You need to use this product and that product and this product. Because I only work on one vehicle in my garage alone. So we're also going to hit the bottom letters here with my panel white mixture, which is acetone and Windex. Original Ammonia D Windex and a magic eraser. So you can just go over the lettering and it brightens it up. It removes any of the grime because the degreaser didn't really touch it. So this brightens all the white lettering. But it does kind of disintegrate the magic eraser, as you see. Oh, much better. So we're going to use Orbit from Enzo tire dressing. Well, now we're on to protecting the paint, or basically just adding another layer. Yes, we already used the Trifecta on the rest of the paint. We still have the Helios on the hood, but that's okay. You can still add a layer of protection, and we're going to be using, staying in line again with Extreme Solutions, we're going to use their Poly Seal. Now this stuff is pretty cool. You can use water as the catalyst to apply this. So we're going to use a damp towel. Here you go, my dear. And I have a damp towel here, and then a nice fluffy Rag Company towel here. That rag right there I got in the detail box kit. So that is a really awesome fluffy rag. I think it's a 400 GSM, maybe more, maybe 500 GSM Rag Company towel. Love those. They're nice edgeless towels. So let's apply it. Very easy to use. You just spray a couple of shots into the towel, work it into the paint. You can see it go on. And you can use an applicator, you can use whatever you want, but just get it onto the paint, work it in. Another mist, please. I'm going to work in larger sections here because we're indoors. And then you just wipe the rest of it with a fluffy towel and you're good to go. And it produces a super, super slick finish. And this stuff is supposed to protect up to 3 to 4 months or so. How do you like that?
Nice.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Now, if you're working in the sun, you need to work faster and just work in smaller sections as well. But it is sun friendly. We've actually worked with this stuff out in the sun before. So it's really not bad. But you do need to use water as the catalyst to set it. And it is an SiO2 product. So once this cures overnight, it should lock it in for a solid 3 to 4 months, I'm thinking. But again, so many different variables. the owner takes care of it, washing it on a regular basis, using good products, you shouldn't have any problem. I actually really like the application of this. It's very, very easy. Nice finish. Does it feel good still?
Feels really good.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna have to reach that middle of the hood, but you get the idea. So we're going to do this to the entire vehicle and get this thing all protected. It is looking really, really good. Well, the Dodge Ram is looking incredible. Wheels are super glossy. Tires are looking amazing with that Orbit dressing from Enzo. And the paint is just incredible. For white, I mean, look at the depth and gloss. Ooh, yeah, amazing. So really happy with the turnout. Now, the interior has had plenty of time to dry. So let's use some fabric protection. And this is really very, very easy, but it just takes drying time. Let's use some Dr. Beasley's products. We're going to use their carpet and upholstery protection. So this you can purchase at Car Supply's warehouse. And let's see how this stuff applies. I really like their packaging. And we have, I believe it's a little 12-ounce bottle. Can't get it out with one hand. All right, I just pulled this bottle out here. And I think it is only a 12 ounce, maybe it's 16. Yep, 12 ounce. Let's break into this and spray all of the interior. So now we're gonna spray, and I am gonna have a towel on me just in case let's get that first. Just in case I get any on plastics or anything like that, it'll wipe right off, so that's really not a concern. Pop this up. And if there's drips like that, you don't have to worry. It dries completely transparent. It doesn't affect it. But we'll just wipe up any that went on the plastic. Just wipe it up. It's not a big deal. Again, it dries transparent. You won't see it. And that's it. Just mist it onto the fabric. Just make sure to get a nice, even coat. Let it dry and put a second coat. Wipe off any plastics. One of the nice things about their fabric protection is there's no scent to it. At least I don't pick up anything. Usually you'll get a pretty strong, I don't know, almost an alcohol smell to it. I know the CarPro stuff is like that. The G-Technic is like that. It's a very, very strong odor. It smells like a very strong solvent alcohol of some sort. And that can just be overwhelming, but this stuff doesn't smell at all. Now I'll have to push that seat up there. I'll do that in a moment. But you get the idea. Mist it on, let it sit, let it dry, let the doors, have the doors open like this and just kind of let everything air out and you'll be good to go. Now another option you can do is just saturate the fabric. That's an option too. So you can do one thin layer, let it dry, come back and do another, or if you're pressed for time, just use up the whole bottle. Just saturate everything as much as possible. Start light, you know, in one area and work your way around. And once you get back around, depending on how much you have, just go back around again. Just keep doing that. Keep misting everything until you use up the entire bottle. So that's what I did. Used up the entire bottle. And that's just another option. So you have two different ways of doing it depending on what you want. And it doesn't say to rub it in. It just says to mist it on and leave it alone. So 303 is also like that, their fabric guard. But I think you can mix it into, you know, mush it into the fabric. That could just be, I don't know, personal choice or depending on the product. But it didn't say that, so I'm going, I guess, by those directions. And just to make it easier, let it sit, let it dry, and that should protect all the fabric and all the carpets in here. Well, the truck is done. It is looking incredible. Really happy with the results. We just finished doing all the carpet and upholstery protection. So we're gonna let that sit overnight, let everything dry, and this will again sit overnight. Everything will cure and it'll be ready to go for tomorrow. The customer's gonna love it. Now, the only issue that we had was the scratches here. We couldn't get these completely out. They're really deep, unfortunately. So, and some along the little body line here, the little ridge, couldn't really do much with that because it builds up too much heat on there. We compounded it as heavy as we safely could, and that was about it. So, unfortunately, that has to stay there. But it really doesn't detract that much from the rest of the truck anyway. Those are so minor, and you can't really even see them from a few feet away. So I'm not really worried about that. The rest of it looks so glossy. It's super slick. Wheels are looking awesome. Plastic is looking great. This thing's ready to go. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's detail. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next time. Take care.